GamerCast Network.
Hey. All right. It's a video game show. It's a video game show. It's not a game show about videos. It's a video game show.
Welcome to the GamerCast Network Video Game Show, episode number 87 for Sunday, April 27th, 2008. I'm Chad, and this week for the roll call, tell me your favorite way to kill someone in a video game. And joining us this evening is Phil.
God, it's not very creative, but usually a headshot's pretty good.
Well, Ivan didn't like that response.
Ivan just been sniped and headshot.
Ivan?
Hi.
Have you been sniped?
I'm fine.
Saw a red razor light dot on his wall, and he was like, oh, he had to jump under the table, and then suddenly... Yeah.
Also joining us tonight is Tom.
This is also completely uncreative. Basically stealing from Phil, because I like to shoot someone from completely on the other side of the map, preferably just as they've gone around a corner, so that because of the latency on their screen, it looks like I shot through a wall, and then they'll complain, and that's the best way to kill someone.
So you like it when people accuse you of cheating?
Well, it just makes it more fun for me. I, of course, enjoy the misery of others.
And also joining us is Ivan.
I like to push, pull, or lead people to fall off things. Star Wars games or something, using force push or pull to dangle them over a cliff and then drop them. It's fun to watch people fall off cliffs.
And finally joining us is Keith.
It's a toss-up between two different ways. In Manhunt, the old bag over the head, and then in The Godfather, just choking someone to death. The controller would vibrate, and as they're being choked, it would vibrate slower and slower and slower until he was dead. It was just fun walking down the street, grab someone and choke the like if someone made even the slightest comment to me I didn't like, I would just choke the out of them. I couldn't walk a block without choking at least 3 people. And sometimes I would choke them, let them go, and then run around the building and catch them as they were running away from me around the corner. They'd run into me and then choke them again.
Well, like Ivan, I too appreciate pushing people off cliffs. But what I really liked recently was Crisis. With the power suit, you could run up, grab a North Korean, and just toss him a very long way.
North Korean tossing fun.
Good old North Korean tossing fun. Well, they're commies. A quick reminder about the Call of Duty 4 Xbox 360 map pack giveaway thanks to Zeus Hates You from the forums. You have until Sunday to send into the mailbag at videogameshow.org what the first thing you're going to do in Grand Theft Auto 4 is. The 2 entries which are the funniest and most creative will get a code for the Xbox 360 version of the Call of Duty 4 map pack.
This week on the GamerCast Network. On Sarcastic Gamer, with Grand Theft Auto 4 looming on the horizon, there's not much else to talk about, but they'll try. Tune in to Uncle Gamer for their very special brand of humor. Boost your gamer score with the latest tips from Achievement Junkie. Tune in to Podtacular for the biggest stories in the unofficial Halo universe. Don't miss Gamertag Radio's Grand Theft Auto 4 nationwide midnight launch coverage from the following areas: New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and more. Discover the website that brings you all these great episodes and headlines at GamerCastNetwork.com.
Next topic.
Nothing beats violence, except more violence.
I guess this week there's going to be lots of violence in the world, because this is the week that Grand Theft Auto 4 launches. Is anyone here excited?
I'm going to go get it and all that, but I can't really say I'm that excited because, let's face it, it's Grand Theft Auto. We've all played it. It's just going to be prettier this time.
I've read some of the reviews so far of Grand Theft Auto 4, and they've put a lot of very unique things. I remember there's lots of new animations and interactivity. For example, when carjacking, I've seen some shots where people were hanging onto the car door for dear life while you're speeding away, only to be knocked off by oncoming traffic. If you get a head-on collision, you can get thrown through the windshield. This is the first Grand Theft Auto that's going to support multiplayer. There's like 16 different multiplayer modes. You can actually run around, have 16 people in the city doing all the free roam sandbox stuff.
That could be fun. Yes, it's going to be cool. And yes, I'm going to like it and all that. But it's going to be
hard to get
same...
excited for it because it's not a new game.
Exactly. San Andreas, I didn't even bother buying. I played it for a while, said, yeah, that's cool. But it was the same game. This game, I really do feel is going to be the same way. But I'll pick this up. It's like Madden. You got to have your one copy for your system. And once you have your one copy, when they come out with Grand Theft Auto 5, which I'm sure they will, because why let this series die when it makes so much money, I probably won't bother getting that because it's going to be the same game. But that's my personal opinion.
Then you're entitled to it, even though it's wrong and the whole world is the other direction.
I'm used to that, though. I mean, how many times have we proven that we cannot predict anything?
And this is the old and jaded podcast. We do these kind of episodes every once in a while.
Next topic.
Okay, so now Culdcept Saga. A couple here have been playing it. Culdcept Saga is the collectible card-like game for the Xbox 360. It's Magic crossed with Monopoly, basically. So what is wrong with multiplayer Culdcept Saga?
You just can't finish a game.
Does it crash?
Yeah, it just freezes up, or
okay.
people get booted, or one of the two. You just cannot finish a game.
It's weird. You'll be playing and it'll say, the mighty Oot is not responsive or something and is being taken over by a computer. And the whole time we're sitting there talking to each other. It's kind of like what happens when you crash in World of Warcraft. You can still talk to everybody, but your game doesn't work anymore.
It's sad because it's a really, really, really good game.
And it's a lot of fun, actually, when you can get the multiplayer to work. It works. It's just it kind of eventually doesn't work. But while it's working, it's a lot of fun.
The thing is, Culdcept Saga games can go very long, a couple hours. How long of a game can you get before something bad happens?
Maybe 10, 15 minutes. Well, we have, I think, a half hour was our max that we actually made it in.
Oh, that sucks, because that really is a fun game.
Oh, that's the thing. It's an insanely fun game. We were all sat down. We were like, oh, this is cool. Hey, you're not working. All right.
Well, this studio that did this game, Culdcept, is the only thing they've done, right? I mean, I looked online. It looks like that's the only game they've ever had. I think this would be their first multiplayer version of it. Maybe they just don't have the elite skills.
But still, it's a board game. It's not... I can see these kind of issues in a game like Call of Duty or, an intensive game, but not a card game.
And what was odd is Magic the Gathering Online always had the same problem with server crashes. And you would think with these turn-based card games, you wouldn't have a lot of networking problems.
But that's the appeal to developers for the 360 is the whole networking multiplayer thing, from my understanding, is pretty much written already. Over live, you just kind of take this stuff and you plug it into your game.
So, Namco Bandai, fix your game.
It's a good game. It's a good game. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I haven't tried local multiplayer yet.
You can't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Sue and I have tried. And also, on a side note, you can only have one character on the game.
Oh, that sucks. So you can only have one save game. Like, two people can't play two different save games. Even if they log in as a different gamer tag?
It doesn't matter. We did that, and it doesn't work. I had my guy that I played 8-10 hours on, and then we made Sue a guy so Sue could play. And when we saved and then we went in, I went to open up my thing. I was like, oh, wait, my guy's gone. You can only have one save game.
Feh.
Next topic.
Tech Radar, some website, put out their 11 things, which, if you answer yes to, you are no longer a hardcore gamer.
I do have sex with a woman, so I guess I must be excluded from that.
One quick thing I should add here is that this isn't to say this is the correct definition of a hardcore gamer. This is their definition of a hardcore gamer, and we can sort out as we're going through it if this is the correct definition or not. You believe that winning isn't everything.
That definitely is me, because, instead of having the godly axe, I take the roller pin of justice if it amuses me enough. I don't need to be elite in every aspect if it amuses me. I play more for fun than so much as the...
Domination?
Yeah.
So you don't want to be the guy and brag out, whereas I'm sure Tom here is winning is everything, correct?
I was going to say, I've seen Chad punch holes in the walls when he's lost at Counter-Strike, so...
That was a very long time ago. I don't do that anymore.
That was a different time. That was a different Chad.
Back in the days when we were hardcore and winning was everything. Now we're just old men.
Next. You're the oldest person trading in games at GameStop. Well, that's kind of implying you're old.
But you're allowed to be old and still be hardcore.
Yeah, who the came up with the thing that once you hit a certain age, you're no longer hardcore. Should be the other way around, because if you're spending that much time gaming when you're older, you actually have less time to devote to such activities.
I think my uncle still plays Diablo 2, and he's in his 50s.
Sue's dad, we get video games for. Like, that's been his birthday gifts, and that is, here's some video games.
My father's in his 60s, and I just recently got both him and my mother to play Peggle nonstop.
Moving right along, I'm going to reword this one a bit. The initial wording was you like your Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 equally. Let's reword that to you like all of your gaming platforms equally in terms of PC or console.
Yeah, I like them all equally. They all have different purposes. If World of Warcraft was available on the 360, I wouldn't want to play it there. So I like my PC for my PC stuff, my console for my console stuff, my DS for my portable stuff.
If you
my
could only
iPod
have one, what would you have?
Well, it would be a toss-up between the 360 and my PC.
If I could only have a computer or a Xbox, it's not even a toss-up. I would have the computer in a heartbeat.
I'll trade my PC for a Vietnamese girl.
What about a young Thai boy?
Let's go on. You finally remember a golden age of PC gaming.
Depends. What are they considering the golden age of PC gaming? All the Quest games and adventure games?
I guess the point is you always say, like, oh, back in the day, these things were better.
I don't even think Tom would say that.
Yeah,
yes, you fondly remember old games,
yeah,
but you look forward to new games as well. So, again, that just shows the stupidity of the people making this survey.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I fondly look backwards and I fondly look forwards.
You avoid playing on the Wii because it's too much effort.
It's never too much effort to play on my Wii.
Okay. Your first-person experiences consist of spawn, run, die, spawn, run, die, spawn.
Mine do not.
I don't care how hardcore you are, that's all you do in FPSs.
No.
You know, you can't tell me you never die.
No, I'm not going to say never die.
I just want to reminisce. There used to be an old beta version of Day of Defeat, and there was this one spawning point for the Axis that it was this really dark house, and you can go into it and turn off the lights, and we would lay on the floors in each corner of the room where the people would spawn in, and as soon as they spawned, Chad and I would unload on them, and they had nothing they can do. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome, actually.
I guess it's one of those things where, like Ivan said, that's all you do in a first-person shooter. You spawn, and you run around and kill people until you die, and then respawn.
Next one. You find the idea of video games based on board games perfectly acceptable. See, that's the bullshit one right there.
Yeah, I want the question added, do you have social interactions with women at all? Because I'm going to find that's going to be one where they're going to be saying no to if they're considered hardcore gamers by the rate of these questions.
Oh, this next question's ridiculous, too.
I think this next one was a very timely one, which is you've pre-ordered Grand Theft Auto 4, but don't mind it if it doesn't turn up on launch day.
This just shows that these people are like 15 years old, and yeah, that's pretty much what it shows.
It's a bad question because I would be pissed if I pre-ordered it and it wasn't there on launch day. That's the point of why bother pre-ordering something if you're not going to get it as soon as it comes out. I know that's not at heart what the question was getting at, but
that's
as a side
logical
note,
and old.
It is. As a side note,
I paid for service and it's not being provided. That's what angers me.
Yeah, these guys are pretty ridiculous in their statement of what it means to be a hardcore gamer.
So we took their survey and we just basically
failed.
And in the process, just basically wrote them off as being idiots.
That means we're that much more hardcore.
Next topic.
I have a fact or crap. We have 4 facts and 1 crap. Here we go. Grand Theft Auto 4 is coming out this week. Now, the new Grand Theft Auto game is set in Liberty City only. And for the past couple 3D games, they've only been set in one location. Liberty City, Vice City, San Andreas. However, this wasn't the case with the original 2D Grand Theft Auto. That one was actually set in all 3 locations. Liberty City, Vice City, and San Andreas, and you could go to all of them while playing. Number 2, everybody's favorite game maker, Koei, makers of such great games as Dynasty Warriors and Nobunaga's Ambition. They once had a game not on the real battlefield, but on the battlefield of the business world. This was released only in Japan in the late 1980s. They made a management game where it was your goal to turn your company from a startup to the big kid on the block. Number 3, soundtracks are always a big part of the Grand Theft Auto games. Even the pre-3D ones. The original Grand Theft Auto on the PlayStation supported the ability where you could actually start the game, open up the PlayStation, take out the game disc, and put in your own CD, and it would play your own music while you're playing the game. Number 4. So we all know Diablo 2 had an expansion, but so did Diablo 1. Blizzard put out the Hellfire expansion, which added a new class and a new set of dungeons. And finally, number 5. The longest running, meaning manufactured and supported portable gaming system not made by Nintendo, is the Sega Game Gear. 4 of those are true, 1 of those is false. And since Ivan likes to explain, Ivan.
I don't know anything about GTA, so I gotta believe you on that one. Anything Japanese that didn't come over here is plausible, so a management game is certainly plausible. But I'm going to go with Blizzard expansion, because if I remember correctly, the only Diablo 1 expansion was not actually done by Blizzard. It was done by some other developer. I forget who it was.
Tom?
I just want to say Ubunga's Ambition was probably one of my top 5 favorite NES games ever. Keith would have hated it. Like, the whole point of that game was resource management.
I loved that.
Did you love it? Okay, yeah.
The main difference between that and like StarCraft management is that you're not getting attacked constantly while trying to do it.
But anyways, them making a management game sounds completely plausible. And the one I'm going to say is crap is taking the game disc out of the PlayStation version of Grand Theft Auto and putting a music CD in. Because what happens when you go to another level and you have to load a level? Does it prompt you to put the game back in? I don't know. So I'm saying that one's crap.
Okay. Phil?
I want to say it's the Diablo 1 because I don't even remember there being a Diablo 1 expansion.
And finally, Keith.
I know it's not the Diablo 1 expansion because I've got it. It's probably sitting in the other room. I'm going to say it's Koei 1 because they wouldn't make that.
Nobody is that dumb.
Okay. We have 2 winners this week, Ivan and Phil, but for different reasons. Yes, there was a Hellfire expansion, but it was done by Sierra Online, not Blizzard.
I knew it.
Hey, I'm right.
I
for
told
being
you.
wrong.
Yes, the original Grand Theft Auto was actually set in all 3 locations. And Koei, yeah, sorry, Keith, they actually do have a management simulator. It was a management simulator for the NES, and they actually released a sequel to it for the Super NES. It was well liked by the business schools over in Japan because it was a simulator.
I can see that during the 80s Japanese boom. Back then, everyone was all...
Gung-ho?
Exactly.
Oh, that was a good one, Chad.
I work at it. Grand Theft Auto for the PlayStation, it did support taking out the game disc and putting in your own music CD. And yes, the longest running, meaning manufactured and supported portable gaming system not made by Nintendo is the Sega Game Gear. So congrats there, Ivan and Phil.
Yay. I do have that expansion somewhere, and I don't know why I remember that it wasn't done by Blizzard. Maybe because it was just odd, because Blizzard always, as we said, takes pride in their stuff. It's actually weird that they let somebody else develop an expansion for their game.
And those guys probably made that expansion really quick.
The extra class was stupid, but it wasn't expensive. I distinctly remember that. It was pretty cheap.
As long as the crap is cheap, that's fine.
As long as you get what you pay for. If you're not going to pay a lot, you really shouldn't expect a lot.
It's definitely true with hookers, I could tell you that much.
Next topic.
So I was thinking from now on that maybe on a weekly basis I would go onto the forums and grab some of the more interesting discussions for use as a segment in the show. First up here we had a thread from Pinhead, and he's doing a paper on stories in video games for a class in film and television. The paper's actually dealing with the audio diaries in BioShock, but he was wondering, how much do you value the story in a video game?
Oh, Jesus. Wrong group to ask.
Well, hang on, well, you could value this input.
First of all, it depends on the game, and then second of all, it depends on the story, and then third, it depends on how deep the story is. So in BioShock, for example, with the recording things that you picked up, I did get the achievement where you picked them all up, so I guess technically I listened to all of them.
But that's the only reason you picked them up, though, right?
Well, not necessarily. I did pick them all up to get the achievement, but I did listen to all of them. Towards the beginning, it was an interesting way to deliver the story, because you can play the thing and still run around and shoot people. You know, it's not a cutscene, it's not stop what you're doing and pay attention to the story. It's here's the story, click the play button, you can listen to it while you're running down the hallway, or you can choose to ignore it, turn it off, whatever. So I liked that. You know, there weren't tons of cutscenes and a lot of things forced down your throat. Story, first of all, if it's done well, and if it's not that intrusive and it's not that long, I do actually enjoy and I do think makes the game better.
Probably more so than most people in this group. I am one that likes the story. I'm the one that will pick up and read all the quests, and if I find a little book, I'll read the book. If a game has a stupid story, its gameplay better be incredibly fun. Like Vice City, for example, where it's not a very good story, just the gameplay is very fun. I prefer both. But on the flip side, like Ivan, I do not like stories shoved down my throat. The Final Fantasies just started getting ridiculous with that, where I want to play the game, not watch a movie.
So let me ask you a quick question there, Keith. In Oblivion, for those who haven't played Oblivion, there are books everywhere. And they're usually not that long, 10, 15 pages usually.
I don't read all of them, but I read a lot of them. The books on the Daedric and those kind of things I'll read because I think they're kind of cool.
Like Ivan said, I enjoyed the way BioShock did it. Didn't prohibit you from advancing through the game.
Tom?
We've gone over this ground before. This is beating a dead horse.
Tom doesn't care about story.
In general, I avoid games with story because I play games for sport. So I want a competition, not necessarily a story.
Say you're not playing Counter-Strike. You're playing a different kind of game. Hey, what am I talking about? You're not going to play those kind of games.
No, sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised. Like, sometimes I'll play a game that has a story and I'll be like, wow, I enjoyed that. But by and large, I don't go out of my way to play those kind of games.
Did you play BioShock?
I did.
Did you finish it?
I did finish it. I had to use the cheats because I got tired of playing it, and I was just like, oh, this is getting old.
Wait. Tom, I know you played Baldur's Gate, too.
Yes.
Did you cheat with that one as well?
Yeah, I used a trainer.
Oh, what the hell is wrong with you, Tom?
Because I don't like these kind of games. I just want to get through it quickly. Give me the damn story as fast as you can so I can go back to playing Counter-Strike.
Double.
Next topic.
Mailbag!
Hey guys, love the show. I had a question Google doesn't seem to cover concerning Microsoft and the Red Ring of Death. If I called in and got the coffin, which is the box Microsoft sends you when you get a red ring, before I have the red rings, can I keep the box until I get the red rings? Thanks, B. Cannon.
First of all, you're not going to get the box or the coffin until you call customer support and say, my console has 3 red dots on the ring and it's not working. I suppose if you called and convinced them that your console was broken and that you needed to send it in, so they sent you a box and then you just kept it, I suppose that would work, because they're probably not going to call you and say, hey, we sent you a box, where's your console?
Here's the thing, though. Don't they put a shipping label on it? And usually shipping labels have a valid till date.
Yeah.
They have a shipping label with it. They have your serial number. So I really don't think that's a very feasible...
So to answer his question, strictly speaking, I guess you could do it. But Chad's right. I think if it did ever break, you'd have a hard time actually using it. The shipping label would be obsolete. You'd have to get a new one. So you'd still have to call support back and tell them what you did, because you'd need a new label or something. I mean, it's not a... Why would you do that in the first place?
I think the point of view here is he's worried his console's going to break, and he doesn't want to wait that week or whatever it is for them to send you a coffin, so he wants to have one and be ready for it.
Way to live in fear, friend.
While you're at it, go buy yourself a real coffin, because sooner or later you're going to die as well, and it would be nice to have that ready to go and waiting.
It is kind of sad that with all these red rings happening, I know another one just happened on our forums, NC454, who's one of our moderators, his console red rings.
That's why he's been on WoW so much.
Yeah, that's why he's been on WoW so much. It's kind of sad that these Xboxes are red ringing so much that people are preparing for the worst case scenario.
From what I understand, it's really not that bad. I mean, I've heard horror stories of a month or 2 months or whatever, but those are the exceptions, not the rule.
Basically, they've probably had so many red rings that the process is so streamlined right now, it's probably pretty quick, which is actually a sad state of affairs, if you think about it.
Next topic.
This is from Mr. Dan.
Mr. Dan. To you.
He is referring to some comments that were made on the last show about Call of Duty 5, when Lano from Sarcastic Gamer was on. My comment is based off of information from IGN.com about the Call of Duty game in development. What seemed to be left out of the podcast is that COD 5 will be made specifically for the Wii and PS2. What I heard about it being from a different developer seemed to drive the point home, that COD 5 was going to be a small and different effort. That's basically all I wanted to say. I was pleasantly surprised by your podcast. Definitely something I'm going to be listening to from now on. Thank you for your time.
Wow, a new listener.
Yeah, thank you. I know in the Call of Duty series there have been games that have come out that really weren't for the next-gen platforms. Like when Call of Duty 2 came out for the 360, it was by Infinity Ward. However, at the same time, Call of Duty Big Red 1 came out from Treyarch, which was for the previous generation systems, the original Xbox and PlayStation 2. The comments in the last show we made was that, what's going on with COD 5? We didn't really mean COD 5, we meant the next real Call of Duty, which is going to be the one by Infinity Ward. Because if they do release this one for the Wii and PS2, then not everyone's going to flock to it.
It probably won't be called COD 5 either. It'll probably be called Call of Duty, The Lesser Battles, or something.
Call of Duty, your system isn't quite good enough to,
Right.
to hold the label 5.
Not good enough for the big boy consoles.
In Call of Duty 5, you play the Swiss Army. You go skiing.
Next topic.
Okay, big quick announcement here for the GamerCast Network. For the launch of Grand Theft Auto 4, the GamerCast Network is invading Liberty City. A number of shows on the GamerCast Network have created special episodes imagining themselves in Liberty City. Some of these shows contain songs, parodies, commercials, all kinds of fun stuff. You can find everything at gta.gamercastnetwork.com, or there's a link on the GamerCast Network homepage at www.gamercastnetwork.com. We even put up a special show with some old songs and new commercials. Here's a quick sample.
Can't believe my eyes. My skill tree's been revised. There's a cap on all my stats, and my spells no longer stack. I've been nerfed. Oh, I'll tell you now, I'm feeling nerfed. When you're level 50 guy, all of a sudden don't work. You got the nerf, oh good lord. I can't wield my sword. Getting known by level 3s, don't even mention PvP. I got the nerf. I said, help me now, I've been nerfed. I should have posted to the boards, now it's half XP reward. My favorite game is lame, all because some elf complained I've been nerfed. I didn't want to pay no monthly fee anyhow.
WVGS's Super Sounds of the 70s continues. You just heard Ham Sandwich and The Nerf. And now the pop bubblegum rock ballad, Spider Funyuns.
There's a Funyun underneath your chair. When were you eating these? When were you eating the Funyuns? We have spiders down here, Chris.
In the basement you got aim, what to do but hunger pain. Reach the snack when the board is done, jowling down the cook Funyun. Just beware, don't jump them there. Eight bright eyes will start to stare, creeping out from the concrete glare. Spiders sure do dust in hair. Armies march and rank and blaze, onto the scent of an unnamed blaze. No escape for those with bones, hardly too direct from their homes. Lunging front for dinner, lunge a big lunch for the Italian buns. Speed, greasy, Funyuns are the need.
All you hear is Heather in the background going, Chris, there's Funyuns and spiders. Why are there Funyuns and spiders?
Hello, my name is Paulie Caparelli, and I'm the sole owner of Paulie's Collection Services. If someone owes you money and you don't feel like waiting for lawyers, then call me, Paulie Caparelli. My collection processes are second to none. I will make them an offer that they can't refuse. And if they do, I break their legs with a sledgehammer. And if they still don't want to pay, well, let's just say I have other ways to make them cough up the dough. So if you need collections, come on down to Mugs and Jugs. You know, the nudie bar next to Sal's Deli in Little Italy. And ask for me, Paulie. If someone owes you money and the bum ain't paying, just call up Paulie and I'll break their knees.
And that was Video Game Show episode number 87 for Sunday, April 27th, 2008. Any ham sandwiches or Shattered Dream pies to give to the world peoples?
I can give a Shattered Dream pie to whoever let the goat loose near my building.
A goat?
I'm walking to the supermarket and I'm just walking down the street and there's this goat staring me down and I'm just not.
I think he could take you too, by the way.
That's what I was thinking because I'm just like, Jesus, it's a goat. I don't want to have to be in the position where I have to now defend myself against an attacking goat. So I was like, as long as I don't look at it right in the eyes, maybe it won't be intimidated. So I tried to play it off like I don't see you, like I'm looking straight ahead, not trying.
I'm not looking at you.
Exactly. And so the goat just kind of watched me as I walked past. So I was like, thank God that didn't charge me or anything.
Did he have any friends?
God, that goat didn't attack.
And as always, send your comments, questions, queries, or concerns to the mailbag at mailbag@videogameshow.org. Skype us at videogameshow or call us at 320-300-GAME. That is a standard long distance call and all normal fees apply. And that's a wrap. Good night.
Do I have any ambient sound? Because I have my window open.
Nope. I think you're fine.
I also have the washer going.
What else do you have going there, Tom?
A marching band going back and forth in the living room. I don't know, dude. This has been a weird day.
You want a weird day, I'll give you a weird day. But we can go on from there. Ivan, I know you're on the call. I can hear you. You're way in the background, but something's screwed up. I'll say that's not good.
He's in a helicopter. He's giving us the traffic report. Ivan, how's the traffic on 271?
That's funny.